Hey everyone, it's your favorite young Goodman Crown. And today I want to talk about the fiction of Nathaniel Hawthorne, especially its religious elements. Now I just want to say in advance that this is not an endorsement of Nathaniel Hawthorne's like political opinions because he was like one of the founders of the original Democratic Party. And if you know anything about the Democratic Party, uh they supported a certain peculiar institution of the South, which obviously that's wrong. I've read a little bit and apparently Nathaniel Hawthorne um thought that that institution was just gonna slowly disappear, like a lot of people, more moderate people in his day. Obviously, it didn't. But anyway, yeah. I mean, his fiction, I don't know. I just like it because it's kind of like, I guess, proto horror. I mean, those of you that are fans of the channel know that I'm also kind of a huge Kafka and a huge Miguel Angel Asturias stan. Uh, and like, I don't know, I really get those types of vibes as well as Borges from him. Like, and I looked it up, and yeah, Nathaniel Hawthorne was a huge influence on him because like Borges is like maternal or no, his paternal grandmother I think was English, so like he grew up reading a lot of American and British literature and like yeah, bro, like I don't know, like it's obvious that Nathaniel Hawthorne was an influence on him because like the themes are so similar. Like Nathaniel Hawthorne talks a lot about arcane like magical or religious stuff like Dr. Heidegger's experiment, bro. That could have been written by Borges. It just like come on now. Wakefield was pretty good. Wakefield is kind of, I think, like the least magical of all his stories because it's so, it's about a marriage and stuff like that. A marriage gone awry, that's all I'll say. Um, but yeah, also religiously, it's kind of really progressive for its time in the sense that like it shows the dangers of being overly spiritual, right? And overly legalistic. And to be honest, I forget exactly which Great Awakening the United States was going through at that time, but like I don't know, it's just a great counter to the the sort of spiritualism, Christian spiritualism and evangelism that was going on at that time, that it just seems so modern because a lot of that is still with us today. But like more than that, I really appreciate the stories because they wrestle with God. They wrestle with the questions of faith, why bad things happen to good people or otherwise devout people. The fact that every one of us, and I mean, I say this when I was a believer because I'm not anymore, but every one of us has doubted. Um, Even if it was just a split second impulsive thought, you've doubted. Your faith, no one's faith has ever been 100%. That's just not a thing. And in that way, he also reminds me of Ingmar Bergman, like in his movies, especially The Seventh Seal, because that's what that movie is all about, struggling with faith, wrestling with God. And I really respect Nathaniel Hawthorne for you know, and I know certain probably more conservative viewers of mine are gonna get mad at me when I say this, but Nathaniel Hawthorne really seems to have a dedication to, yes, he believes, it's clear that he believes, but a dedication to a sort of American secularism that you don't really see anymore. And what I mean by that is that he's honest, as I said before, about the struggles of faith and the problems of faith. Um, and he doesn't really denigrate more than what I think would be expected from his time. I mean, his like, his portrayals of indigenous people are kind of like, you know, yeah, they're like half civilized or whatever, which is not right, of course, but they're a lot more sympathetic, I think, than maybe would be expected of someone from his time as well. And it's like, yeah, you know, it just seems like he was part of that generation of Americans that really understood that secularism didn't have to mean either that you were Mr. Science, I'm a rationalist, you know, yeah, Mr. White, yeah, science type dudes. Because those have always existed. Um, Maybe not to the level we have them now, maybe not, um, to the dismay, I'm sure, of fedora sellers everywhere. Um, but yeah, they've always existed, and it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm a Puritan, you're wearing a skirt that's too short, so therefore you deserve to burn, or you don't follow this exact like theology that I do. You don't believe in predestination, or you believe that everyone's going to heaven, whatever it may be, right? I feel like we've lost that type of secular person in American society. And what I would dare say was part of the original American founding values. Um, and yeah, when I read his stories, just like Garcia Marquez or um any of the other surrealists, I'm kind of left with more questions than answers. It feels like I need to, you know, maybe reread a story multiple times to get it. Um, But yeah, overall, I loved the short stories of Nathaniel Hawthorne. Very good. Um, enthralling, you know. Um, and before I go, I'll show you the edition I'm using. It's funny because I'm using one from Oxford World Classics, which is obviously a British publisher associated with the university. But I mean, most of his stories are set in colonial British North America, so it kind of fits. But yeah, and as you can see, these are your books on cerebral palsy, but I don't care because I love physical books still. All right, see you guys. Bye.